tonight. Albania failed to muster a single shot on target. Just a reminder, this is all about qualifications for the World Cup next year. It is a nice group that England have drawn in.
You think?
To say
you think?
Latvia next up for Thomas Tuchel's side. Keep an eye on this game for us was Nedum Onuoha, who joins us now. Nedum, big takeaways from this game?
Oh, it's coming home, Dan. It's coming home, and you know it. Let's celebrate right now. The World Cup is coming home to England. Forget about everybody else. This is it.
Yes.
That is it, yeah. No, in fairness, it was a positive game. I think the talk was that Thomas Tuchel was going to get his side to play in a more Premier League style. And I think we sort of wondered, well, what does that mean? And what I liked was the fact that at times the tempo was higher, which is very unlike what we tend to see in international football overall, but especially from England. I thought the press itself was impressive. The fact that one goes, everybody goes. They try and swarm on the opposition. And the fact that Albania had 3 shots not on target. I think a lot of that is down to the way that England was sort of forcing them to play in that match itself. So it was good seeing Lewis Skelly score a goal on his debut, the youngest ever to do it for England. Seeing Dan Burn go in there at the age of 32 and have an impact. I think as the game went on, he faded a little bit. But what a week for him. You know, 2 games in a row at Wembley for 2 different reasons. What a week that is. But yeah, it looked positive. And for Tuchel himself, the crowd, it wasn't like the most enthusiastic crowd because maybe it was Albania. But the fact is he started. This is qualifying for the World Cup. That is the objective. And yeah, you can sort of see subtle differences which could possibly continue to improve for England.
Bellingham the best player, Nedum?
In the first half, yeah, I thought the way that he was playing in that sort of 10 role, like they kept saying on TV, it's a free role, it's a free role. I don't think free roles really exist in 2025 because you have to do other sides of the game as well. But I thought his link-up play with the others around him was really good. I think the ball he played for Lewis Skelly was top-notch. And the fact that he was getting into the box supporting Harry Kane so that those putting the balls in do have more than one option in there. So I was impressed by the way that he played. And as I say, in the second half at times, it wasn't as clean. But then he plays so well, you forget how young he is. Like, what a talent he is for England. And the fact is he's comfortable. He's getting better in that link-up play with all those guys in that team. You know, they look like they've played a lot of football together, which is a really positive sign, considering how young they all are together.
And what's good to see as well, consistency from Phil Foden, bringing his club form to the international stage.
Oh, boy.
Dan Thomas, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. So what I will say is that 11 players that started the game for England did very well to force Albania to not have any shots on target. Yeah, he wasn't his best. He wasn't his best. He's not had a great season. He knows that. Everyone can see that. This is the player of the season from last year. And not many people thought he could replicate the form of last year, but the drop-off has been quite stark. But it's coincided with the way that City have been this season. And I think for Thomas Tuchel, firstly choosing to start him, something he didn't have to do, I think that's sort of like a nod in itself to how much belief he has in him as a player. But I think if it was to see the best of him, it's not going to be high and wide on the right. But good luck trying to sort of oust Jude Bellingham from that position centrally. In time, maybe he'll get better. It's been a long season for him and he'll have the belief because he wants to work hard, he wants to be successful. But it's definitely not been a memorable season to this point.
Harry Kane with a few chances, Ali, took his goal very well.
And I don't think people realize how difficult that is. First of all, reading the flight of the ball, knowing where the defender is, feeling the defender, allowing the defender to go and challenge for a ball that he's never going to get to, and then being able to bring the ball down. But more importantly than anything, once he's able to control the ball, to have the presence of mind, the patience, and the experience to allow the second defender who's coming across to basically create an angle for him. The defender's coming in thinking he's got to challenge the ball, and of course he's going to do that. And in doing that, it creates the angle for Harry Kane. But all of that has to happen in a fraction of a second, and it takes that level of experience, that level of know-how and calmness in an area in which everybody's freaking out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Harry Kane is the one that is saying, you move this way, you move that way, I'm going to find that bottom corner. Here we go, goal 2-0.
Stevie, you weren't here when we had the discussion on Wednesday, I believe it was, about the glue. There is Jordan Henderson. He would come on with 10 minutes to go. We discussed whether or not how comfortable you'll be with someone as much experience as Jordan Henderson has to be almost like a mascot, a cheerleader within this squad.
Look, if Jordan Henderson can put his ego aside the way that Tuchel, it seems, wants him to do, and be the type of guy who is going to be the experienced one in and around the squad before games, can he bring him on for 20 minutes just to make sure they keep him somewhat happy? Then it's a fantastic thing for any manager to have.
Right.
Somebody like that who you know we take the mick, the glue, but he's right. If you can have somebody like that, then I think...
Would you be comfortable in that role if you were asked as like a veteran?
Yes, I think if the manager takes you aside and says, look, I know that at times I can put you on the field and you can do the job.
Right.
But I want you to do another job which I feel is as important, and that is that we want to keep everybody together. We want some young guys, but we need experience to help the young guys. And you're the perfect man for the job. Plus, as I said, I can put you on the field and we don't lose anything. So, are you up for it? I mean, as I said, it's all about getting somebody who doesn't have a big ego and who's more than happy to do a great job. And I would suggest Henderson probably is that man.
After Jurgen Klopp famously questioned whether or not you'd ever played the game, it was Jordan Henderson, I believe, Nedum, who told him, in fact, that you had.
Yeah.
Well, he's just a cheerleader for everyone.
Yeah, do you know, that's... I love what you've done there, Dan. That's beautifully put. So, yeah, Jordan Henderson, thank you. And I think in regards to what Stevie was saying there as well, I can see the value in it because I think in this day and age when the squads are bigger at international level, I think the number's 26, I think you can afford to have other players in there that give you a different sort of look. And for Tuchel, knowing that the months ahead, leading up to the World Cup, going to be really tough months for him and the tournament itself is going to be tough, he wants a level of experience that exists there. But for somebody who, in Jordan, will be appreciative of the fact that he's still in the mix with this England side. But this is a guy who's not just making up numbers as such, because he's the captain of Ajax. You know, think about what type of feat that is to be captain in one of the biggest clubs in European football. He's the captain there, and he's captain for a reason. When I haven't been lucky enough to play with him, I see how he sees the game. I see how he carries himself off the pitch. I see the drive that he has. And even when he came on today, I was looking and seeing how he was trying to organise those around him, the ability to change tempos when needed. And as Stevie said, you can bring him on and it not really affect the game from that standpoint. And I think for Tuchel to have somebody on the sideline like that is a big deal, in my opinion, because not everybody will be able to have that. And for Jordan himself, I don't think he's daft to be thinking I'm going to be playing every single time in this England game. But the manager knows me, trusts me, and is going to give me a chance potentially to play in one last World Cup in his career. Like, these things are every 4 years. There's an emotional side to that. Jordan's somebody that's immensely proud whenever he gets the chance to play for his country. So for him to be back in the fold, to him to feel like he's got a new lease of life, but also have the responsibility of helping those around him, I think Tuchel's spoken to him and he said, this is a no-brainer, I have to have him in the squad. And that doesn't surprise me one bit, and hopefully the two of them can be successful together.
Just a reminder.
Are we sure that Nedum is not the glue? It felt like Nedum was cheering us.
Nedum was very much the glue at QPR.
All right, okay.
Yeah, cheers, Dan.
Just a reminder.